Hey there, it's Bobby, aka Paginator, and it's time to play TBRVatar for the month of June. How did we get here? I feel like I say that every month. The months seem to be flying by. I'm really looking forward to summertime and hopefully things slowing down a little bit. I just went to high school graduation tonight, and the rest of the kids have one more week of school, but we're so close. Anyway, it's time to get into the game. As usual, I will be doing 5 regular rolls and 5 bonus rolls. The 5 rolls are required. The 5 bonus are what I need to read in order to do some book shopping. For the month of May, I'm filming this on the 28th, so I still have a few more days, and I definitely will be finishing all the bonus ones as well, so I will get to buy some new books in June, which is exciting. Let's see what happens with June's TBR. Are you ready? Here we go. Alright, here we go with roll number 1. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cabbage pot. Curses. We're starting off with the cabbage pot. So, what I've been doing recently is giving myself options, pulling 2 or 3 for each prompt to give myself choices, and that's helped so much so that I don't feel trapped. So I'll be pulling 3 books from this bag/cabbage pot. And the first one is Soul of Stars by Ashley Poston. This is a sequel to Heart of Iron. Let me grab it off the shelf for you. So here we have Soul of Stars. Again, this is a sequel. The first one is kind of like the Myth of Anastasia set in space, and we have a lot of space battles and ships and things. This reminds me of Star Wars when they are approaching the Death Star and they're like, that's no moon, it's a space station. This looks massive. I'm super excited to continue the series because it's been ages since I read the first one, and I really, really, really loved it. Pick number 2 from the cabbage pot is going to be Smoke in the Sun, which is Flame in the Mist, number 2 by Renee Ahdieh. Okay, so here is this cover. Look at this gorgeous, gorgeous cover. Smoke in the Sun is a sequel to the first book, Flame in the Mist. It is, a lot of people thought it was a Mulan retelling. It's not meant to be a Mulan retelling, but similar vibes. We have a girl who's disguising herself as a boy, and it takes place in feudal Japan. And again, this is another one where it's been such a long time since I read the first one. I don't remember tons, so I might need to do a little recap research before I get into this one. So far we've drawn 2 sequels. What will be the 3rd pick from the cabbage pot bag? Alright, pick number 3 is a book that I've already read, 14 Ways to Die. That can happen sometimes because when I made this list, it was like all of my to-be-read books. So here we have The Accident Season by Maura Fowley-Doyle, I believe. Alright, so here is the cover on this one, and I have to remind myself, this is Kara and her family. Every October, they have a lot of accidents. Some years it's bad, like the season where her father died, and some years it's just cuts and scrapes. But this accident season, when Kara, her ex-stepbrother Sam, and her best friend Bee are 17, none of that will make a difference because the lines between fantasy and reality are starting to blur. Some secrets are threatening to be revealed. That's all it says, so I have no idea what else might happen here. Roll number 2. 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Team Avatar. So Team Avatar is a friend or family member pick, and for this one I might go with my nieces. Alright, so roll number 2 brought us Team Avatar, and I said I would have my nieces pick my next read. So I texted my sister-in-law pictures of 3 books: Keeper of the Lost Cities, The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, and Shadowgast. I have 4 nieces, 3 of whom can vocalize their decisions. One's only like 3 years old, and she's just doesn't have many words. So the older 3 picked, and they actually chose 2 books. So they chose Shadowgast, which was voted on by 2 of them. This is the 3rd book in the Irion Sea series, which is a middle grade mystery series with lots of great atmosphere, and it follows a boy who is a lost and founder at a hotel. So he helps find lost things or return lost things to their owners, and he gets involved in many mysteries along with his good friend, who herself is a missing object in the first book. And then my oldest niece picked The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea by Axie O. This is a stunning fairy loot edition. of this story, and it is based on mythology from China, I think, if I remember right. Anyway, it's about a girl who sacrifices herself to marry the sea god in place of someone else. I think it's like her brother's girlfriend or brother's fiance. Yeah. Anyway, it's a gorgeous book, and I've heard good things about it from those who have actually read it. So as far as that goes, I probably will try to read both of them because it is June and I will not be teaching, so I'll have more time. At the very least, I will get to Shadowgas because that got more votes than the other one. Sorry. And we'll see where we go from there. People keep texting me. They never text me, and I sit down to film, and ding, 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 here goes my phone. Roll number 3. 2. 1, 2. Narrowly avoided the cabbage pot. What does that say? Pebble attack. Uh-oh. Oh, Pebble Attack is actually a good thing. It is a book under 200 pages. Okay, so the next one was a Pebble Attack, a book under 200 pages. And I don't have very many books that are super short. So for this one, I'm going to be reading Bobi in Wonderland. This is a book that I had made through an Etsy shop. Instead of Alice's Adventures in Wonderland, it's me. So every time it says Alice in the real book, it says my name here. And it's just so much fun. And it has illustrations in it. And it's just the story of Alice in Wonderland, but me. So for that prompt, I'm only going to give myself one choice. It's a short book anyway, so it won't make me feel trapped. And I'll have to do that for one of my other picks later as well. Roll number 4. 2. 1, 2. That one gets a 20-sided die. Roll number 4 gave us a 20-sided die, and I made a new list of 20 books. It's terrible handwriting. I'm so sorry. So there would be no point in zooming in on it. My camera doesn't do well zooming anyway. To give myself options, I'm going to be doing 3 rolls and recording those, and we'll choose from one of those when I'm ready to read for that prompt. So my first roll is 2, and that is The Highland Falcon Thief. That is a middle grade book. It is the first in a series called the Adventures on Trains series by M.G. Leonard and Sam Sedgman. And there is someone who steals things on this train. As the series progresses, the crimes get more and more serious. I think the third one has a murder on it. So it's supposed to be really, really good. Gavin from How to Train Your Gavin talks about this series quite often. Okay, option number 2 for this one is number 6, which is Daughter of the Moon Goddess. This is another beautiful Fairy Loot special book. This is by Sulin Tan, and it's been all over BookTube and probably BookTok. I'm not on TikTok, so I don't know. This is another East Asian mythology one, and I believe it's something to do with an emperor. Shinyin was unaware she was being hidden from the celestial emperor, who exiled her mother for stealing the elixir of immortality. But when her magic flares and Shinyin's existence is discovered, she's forced to flee her home, leaving her mother behind. So she's making her way to the celestial kingdom to save herself, family, etc. What will my third option be? Number 19. This is a good one. So this is Beard Necessities. It is from the Winston Brothers series by Penny Reed. This is the 7th book in the series. This is an adult romance series with sexy times in it. So if you're a young person watching this, wait till you're older to read this series. A lot of it's like grown-up humor anyways, so it is what it is. Anyway, this is a fun series, and this one is about Billy. He has been in love with Claire McClure forever throughout the series, so are they going to get together? Is he going to fall for someone else? I don't even want to read the back of the book because I just want to dive into the story. Alright, so I'll be choosing one of those 3 books for my prompt number 4. Roll number 5. 3. 1, 2, 3. A blank. We finally get to pick a card. Alright, what have we got this time? Azula, a book with a morally gray character or villain's POV. I might have to do some research on this one. Number 5, we got Azula, a morally gray character or villain POV. I have 2 options for this one, and the first one is Vicious by V.E. Schwab. And I've read a couple of books by her and really, really loved them. So, of course, I'm wanting to read more. I recently read Gallant, which was great and super creepy. This one is about Victor and Eli. And they start out as two brilliant but arrogant college students who recognize the same sharpness and ambition in each other. In their senior year, a shared research interest in adrenaline, near-death experiences, and seemingly supernatural events reveals an intriguing possibility that under the right conditions, someone could develop extraordinary abilities. But when their thesis moves from the academic to the experimental, things go terribly wrong. 10 years later, Victor breaks out of prison, determined to catch up to his old friend, now foe, aided by a young girl whose reserved nature obscures his stunning ability. Meanwhile, Eli is on a mission to eradicate every other superpowered person that he can find aside from his sidekick, an enigmatic woman with an unbreakable will, armed with a terrible power on both sides, driven by the memory of betrayal and loss. The arch-nemesis have set a course for revenge, but who will be left alive in the end? My other option for this one is And I Darken by Kiersten White. I tried to read this a few years ago and I kind of got stuck in the middle of it. I was trying to read it and like one of my students kept saying, "You're going to hate it, you're going to hate it, you're going to hate it." And I think I let her get to me. Never listen to middle schoolers. Anyway, I would like to try to actually give this a proper chance at some point. And this is to do with Dracula, and I'll read a little bit from the synopsis. No one expects a princess to be brutal, and Lady Dragula Wilya likes it that way. Ever since she and her gentle younger brother Radu were wrenched from the homeland of Wallachia and abandoned by their father to be raised in the Ottoman courts, Lada has known that being ruthless is a key to survival. She and Radu are doomed to act as pawns in a vicious game, an unseen sword hovering over their every move. For the lineage that makes them special also makes them targets. Lada despises the Ottomans and bides her time planning her revengeance for the day when she can return to Wallachia, or is it Wallachia? I don't know, and claim her birthright. Radu longs only for a place where he feels safe, and when they meet Mehmed, a defiant and lonely son of the Sultan, Radu feels that he's made a true friend, and Lada wonders if she's finally found someone worthy of her passion. The problem is Mehmed is the heir to the empire that they're sworn to fight against. And Radu is now considering this place home, and so there's all kinds of complications. Again, I want to give this another proper chance. All right, here we go with the bonus rolls. Roll number 6. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bender scroll. All right, so a bending scroll means I get to buy a book and read it. I can also choose to replace it with a different prompt if I don't want to buy a book, but I mean, you guys know me. What do you think I'm going to pick? Okay, roll number 6 gave us bending scroll, buy a book and read it. Usually when I get this prompt, I say, no, I'll just roll something again, but I'm going to actually do it this time because I will be earning the prize for reading the bonus reads in May. And so in June, I'm going to be going to a city with lots of good bookstores pretty soon, and I might as well go buy a book to read, right? So of course, you know me, I can't walk out of a bookstore with just one book, so I will have some options as to what to read, and I'll more than likely film a haul for that, so you'll be able to see what I get when that gets filmed and uploaded. Roll number 7. 2. 1, 2. Slow down. So this means I can take one book out of this month's TBR. That is good news for me if I want to just read 9 books instead of 10. I am going to give myself an option of doing a mood read for this one as well. Roll number 7 gave us slow down, take one book out of your monthly TBR. So I will either do that or use it to pick a mood read, maybe read one of the ones that my nieces picked because they picked for me to read 2. We'll see what happens and go from there. Full disclosure, my sister-in-law didn't text me back for a little while, and I was like, crap, what am I going to do? Sometimes they go camping on the weekends and stuff, and the girls are out of school, and so I sent the same message to a friend of mine, and she replied back with Keeper of the Lost Cities. So now, technically, I've had people choose all 3 of those options for me to read. So prompt number 7 will help me cover those. I blame myself for this mess. Roll number 8. 2 again. 1, 2. Another 20-sided die. Okay, roll number 8 got us another 20-sided die. So once again, I'll be rolling 3. And let's see what options I get. Okay, so we're starting with number 8. And on the list, that is The Gilded Cage. Ooh, another sequel. So this is a sequel to The Prison Healer. In the first book, we have our main character who is a healer in a prison. She's lived there her whole life practically, grown up there, learned how to heal the prisoners, and there's something really going wrong in the prison. There's this kind of massive illness that's sweeping everything, you know, through everyone, and she's got to do something about it, and also accidentally ends up somehow involved in a competition for her life. Cannot wait to see where the sequel takes us. All right, let's roll another option here. Number 18, Hotel Magnifique. All right, so Hotel Magnifique is about sisters Jenny and Zosa, and they get aboard this moving hotel in search of jobs because they are in dire straits. And I have a feeling this is going to be giving me Howl's Moving Castle vibes throughout because we have a moving building and etc. We'll see what happens, I guess. And our third option for this one is number 14, a middle grade. So this one is Children of the Flying City by Jason Sheehan, and I'm going to read from the dust jacket on this one. Brought to the Flying City when he was only 5 years old, orphan Milo Quick has never known another home. Now almost 13, Milo survives one daredevil gift at a time, relying only on his wit, speed, and best friend Jules and Dagda. A massive armada of ships has surrounded Highgate's crumbling armaments because behind locked doors and opulent parlors, pneumatic forests, and master toy maker's workshop, once great Flying City protects a powerful secret hidden away for centuries, a secret that's about to ignite a war. This sounds very steampunky to me, which is awesome because I love steampunk, and I feel like there's not enough of it. It's so good when it's well done. All right, that gives me 3 options for that prompt as well. 1, 2, 3. What does that say? I think this says Eastern Air Temple. Let me consult my instruction sheets and see if I can find something similar. Okay, so this is Easter Air Temple, not Eastern, but I was close. It is Hidden Gem. Read a book with less than 5,000 reviews on Goodreads. Roll number 9. It gave us Easter Air Temple, a book with less than 5,000 reviews on Goodreads. So I have, again, some options here. So I have The Beast Warrior by Nahako Uehashi. This is a sequel to The Beast Player, which I read and absolutely adored. It involves a girl who has magical powers that she's not supposed to have. Magical beasts. This one is one called the Royal Beast, which is kind of like a flying wolf. And there are ones that are kind of like snaky worm things. And there's all kinds of craziness happening. And this is very epic fantasy. And yeah, it's definitely a great, well, the first book was great, so I'm thinking the second book will be great as well. The second option is The Ivory Key by Akshaya Raman, and this is a 2022 release. I believe it came out in January, if I remember right. 4 siblings, a country in ruins, one quest to save them all. Vera is desperate to get out of her mother's shadow and establish her legacy as a revered queen of Ashoka. But with the country's only quarry running out of magic and a precious resource that has kept Ashoka safe from conflict, she can barely protect her citizens from the looming threat of war, and if her enemies discover this, they'll stop at nothing to seize the last of the magic. So she has to try to find a mysterious object of teacher brain. She has to find a mysterious object of legend in order to help save her kingdom. And the third option is actually a book that is in my classroom, so I'll pop up a picture for you to see here. It is Fire Becomes Her. And this is one that I got from Scholastic, and usually my Scholastic books just go right to the classroom because I trust them appropriateness-wise. This is by Rosie Thor, and the cover is beautiful. It is set in the Jazz Age. It does involve a kind of magic called Flare, and Flare is power, and you can save it up. I'm going to read the synopsis from Goodreads. It's really short. It says, with one drop of Flare, one can light the night sky with fireworks, or burn a building to the ground, and 17-year-old Ingrid Ellis wants her fair share. Ingrid doesn't have a family fortune, monetary or magical, but at least she has a plan. Rise to the top on the arm of Lyndon Holt, heir to hefty political legacy and the largest fortune of Flare in all of Candace. Her only obstacle is Lyndon's father, who refuses to acknowledge her. So when Senator Holt announces his run for president, Ingrid uses the situation to her advantage. She strikes a deal to spy on the senator's opposition in exchange for his approval and the status she so desperately craves. But the longer Ingrid wears 2 masks, the more she questions where her true allegiances lie. Will she stand with the Holt, or will she forge her own path? I'm guessing on this one there's something shady going on with the Holtz family, and she's going to learn that maybe they're not people that she wants to ally herself with. And our last roll is 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Something ball? Air ball? Oh, so this means I just get to follow the arrow to skip some steps, and that brings us to this blank circle, which means to pick another card. Okay, let's get a good one, please. A good one, a good one, a good one. We have Zuko's Lost Ponytail. Read something that has 150 pages or less. Alright, that brings us to the very last roll, number 10, Zuko's Lost Ponytail, less than 150 pages. Again, I don't have very many short books, so this is going to be my only option on this one. And this is The Puffin Keeper by Michael Morpurgo, illustrated by Benji Davies. It is an illustrated book, which is always fun. This says, on one stormy night, a four-masted schooner was driven onto the rocks by angry seas. The sails were soon in tatters, 3 of her masts broken. She was helpless in the towering waves and was sinking fast. From high in this lighthouse, Benjamin Postlethwaite saw it all. He knew at once what he had to do. He jumped into his boat to rescue the passengers. Among them is a young boy. That boy was me, Alan, and this was the start of an incredible adventure. So that sounds like a fun book. Oh my Lanta, I've been through a lot of books in this video, and I realize that that is my fault for choosing to give myself choices on each prompt, but really that's what works best for me. Yeah, I keep telling myself I'm going to do monthly wrap-ups, and then I keep saying, no, I don't wanna. Maybe this will be the month. Maybe I'll do a wrap-up for May. Maybe I'll do one for June. Only time will tell. So, with that being said, it's time for me to go, and for you to go and have a wonderful, magical, and bookish day. Happy reading! Adios!